We got an SEC schedule. That means we now know where and when these Oklahoma Sooners and those hated Texas Longhorns will play their first games as members of the greatest conference in the country in 2024. Another thing we know, these schedules were not created equally.
Let's go!
Welcome back to Hall of Fame College Football. I'm your host, Jason Watkins, and if you love college football, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame College Football. Wanted to kind of react to the schedule we saw the other night. I was on with Coach I during the SEC schedule release on Wednesday. Hey, good times, man. I mean, this is going to be, it's now gotten real for fans of the Oklahoma Sooners and those hated Texas Longhorns as well. For what was that guy's name that was just on the live stream? I don't know, Longhorn Knucklehead. You don't have to like what you're hearing, but it's the truth. Guys, things did just get real. Our Sooners and those Shorthorns have played their final games in the Big 12 Conference. And as of August 31st of 2024, they will play their first games with an SEC patch on their jerseys rather than that Big 12. But who got the tougher draw in year one? Let's take a look at both of them and some stats that I think are going to blow you away and kind of make you wonder why. Now, the good news is you would hope that it kind of switches up a little bit as each year goes on. I think we're going to see some changes to the overall scheduling, possibility of going to a 9-game SEC schedule in 2025. Look, as I said, I would take a look at this, and look, I think it's going to be a really good season. You can be very optimistic about these Sooners coming into their first season in the SEC. Am I as optimistic as Jay on Unfair Sports is? No. I do not see their ceiling. I don't see any way that you could possibly win all your games, be undefeated in your first year in the SEC. I just don't see it happening. You have a true sophomore quarterback who's making his first start in the Alamo Bowl against a very tough Arizona team. He also had a little bit of time when Dylan got hurt in the second half against BYU. You're going to have road games. Let's show you a couple of things. We're going to go through the Texas schedule real quick, but I mean, you've got road games at a 10-2 Mizzou team. You've got a road game at a 10-2 Ole Miss team. You've got a road game at a 9-3 LSU team. Most likely going to be a night game, a place that they generally do not lose. No matter if they're having a terrible season, they generally do not lose there, right? Not to mention, you open up your first road game in SEC play, likely at nighttime again on September 28th against Auburn. I'm going to show you some of their winning percentages here in just a minute, but let's jump into what you see from Texas because, folks, it's not the same. You know, we knew coming into this because you've had the opponents for this for the 2024 season for a while now, since before the season ever started. So we've known the opponents. Texas obviously did not have the same type of a gauntlet schedule as do the Sooners. They open up obviously on August 31st, Colorado State at home before going on the road to play the Michigan Wolverines in the Big House. And yes, that is fellow playoff entrant Michigan, who again won the Big Ten title for now the third straight year. They then have a home game with UTSA. Could be a decent game. Jeff Traylor remains there. He's done a really good job there in San Antonio. Followed by Louisiana Monroe, also at home, before they open their conference play in week 5 with Jeff Lebby's Mississippi State Bulldogs. Again, also at home. As you notice, they have 4 total road games for the season here, adding in that one from Michigan at the start. Now, after a game that you have to expect them to beat with Jeff Lebby, this is a team we're talking about that went 5-7 this season, really looked like they were in the tank towards the end, did the Bulldogs. I think Jeff's going to get it turned around. I don't think he's going to get it turned around in time for that Week 5 matchup against the Longhorns. After that, they get a bye going into the Red River Week on October 12th. And then this is probably the really tough part of their schedule would be following the Oklahoma game. You could have a hangover there, but you don't have time because you are at home facing the Georgia Bulldogs, who are likely to be pretty pissed off after missing the playoffs this season. You expect them to come in. Both teams come in with no more than 1 loss because, Oklahoma's going to beat Texas. But Georgia should come into that one undefeated. It's a tough place to go and play if you're Georgia in Austin, but it's a possibility of losing. I think that all their losses would be over with if they lost any games. Might lose at the Big House. I think it's a tough place to go win. And I think that really Michigan, if you think about it, maybe they do lose that one. I'm never going to say they're going to beat Oklahoma because they shouldn't. OU may win that one too. But let's say you lose both of those and you lose the Georgia game on October 19th, the losses should be over now. You then go on the road at Vanderbilt, who didn't win a conference game in 2023, 2-10 overall. Then you get another bye week before hosting a pretty terrible Florida team who will be in the midst and could be without a coach by this time, as they play probably one of the toughest schedules I've ever seen for anyone. I mean, it's just back to back to back to back. And this is, of course, at home again. Your next road game against another really bad Arkansas team who, after going 4-8 on the season, 1-7 in conference play, their lone win being over Florida. They lost their quarterback, KJ Jefferson, along with their top running back as well. Then you turn around and you have Kentucky. Kentucky, again, another one of those teams at home. They could give them a game. But overall, I would think that if you do get a game from them, it might be because you're looking ahead at that final game of the year against the Aggies, Texas A&M. That one's on the road as well. A&M, though, will have new coach Mike Elko. They seem to be hemorrhaging some players in that. So it's just hard to really have high expectations there, guys, for any of these other teams. To beat Texas should, the very bottom for them should be 9-3. If they do less than 9-3 a year after being in the college football playoff, bringing your quarterback back, that's not a good season for them. Look, I'm going to show you a couple of things here, but I mean, obviously, look, there's a huge difference between those two schedules I just showed you. Oklahoma, obviously, their 8 conference opponents, including Texas, including conference champion Alabama, they won 76 games in 2023 overall. That was their total records. It all added up to 76 wins in 2023, an average of almost 9 wins per school. Texas, on the other hand, their 8 league opponents won just a combined 52 games this season, which is just an average of 6.5 wins per program. And look, I got to tell you, of those 52 wins, 22 of them are made up by Oklahoma's wins and Georgia's wins. So that's 2 opponents on their conference schedule. The other 6 only combined for 30. Now, as I told you on that schedule, looking at Texas's schedule, once they get through that Georgia game, even if they've lost to Georgia, lost to Oklahoma, and lost to Michigan in their tough games, they should not lose again. That's week 8. They should be able to get through the rest of it unscathed. 9-3 should be their absolute bottom. Oklahoma, they get to end the season on the road at Mizzou, get a bye week, host Alabama, and then go on the road for the final week of the season and play in Baton Rouge in Death Valley. Tough, right? Not only that, OU's SEC road opponents enjoy significant home field advantages anyway. Most SEC schools do. But of OU's, Auburn is definitely the best out of those. Auburn doesn't lose at home almost ever. Okay, almost ever. They win. It's 79.9% of their all-time games at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Look, in Auburn, Alabama, this is just unbelievable. LSU isn't very far behind them. As I said, those night games on the Bayou, they win 74% of their all-time games at the famed Death Valley in Baton Rouge. Ole Miss, another great season for Lane Kiffin. Look, 10-2 on the year. Their only losses came on the road to Alabama and Georgia. They were undefeated at home. Missouri went 10-2 as well this past season. Their lone home loss coming to LSU in quite a shootout. These are your 4 road games for OU. Now, that's 4 conference road games. Texas, on the other hand, only plays 3 true conference road games. Okay. The 3 at Vanderbilt, again, 2-10 in 2023, winless in conference play. That means they didn't win a home game in conference play. At Arkansas, 4-8, and they're struggling. And then they go on the road to Texas A&M. They own an all-time record of 76, 37, and 5 in their more than 110, 15 meetings all time. Should be a hell of a chippy, nice little game to play, but you can't have huge expectations. Look, it's little brother to them, and they've got a new coach, and they're losing players as well. Could you excuse them losing that game as a rivalry game? Things happen? Yeah, maybe. There's no excuse for anything else. No excuse for anything else. Let me just reiterate kind of where. Let's take a look at these overall opponent records. So as you can see here, look, yeah, I put it. I said it. Training wheels. This is what it is. Their opponents' conference record. Their conference opponents' record in SEC play in 2023. 41% win percentage. 27-38 are those opponents that Texas takes on in their first season in the SEC. Oklahoma's conference opponents, their first season in the SEC, won 67% of their conference games in 2023, 44-21 combined. Okay. Overall records, as I said before, Texas's opponents won 52 total games in the 2023 season. Oklahoma's conference opponents won 72 games, 73% win percentage for conference opponents. These include games against the SEC champion Alabama, Crimson Tide, obviously Ole Miss at 10-2, Missouri at 10-2, LSU at 9-3. You also play host to Tennessee at home, who was they were 4-4 in conference play, ended up at 8-4 in Josh Heupel's third season in Knoxville. Look, that's not going to be an easy game, even though it's home. Should you win the game against South Carolina? Yeah, you should. But it's still, it is what it is there. So you've got significantly tougher schedule there. It's not really a complaint. It's what I'm showing you is that Texas doesn't have any excuses. What I said to start the video is, guys, we can keep your. I implore Oklahoma fans to keep your expectations manageable for your first season in the SEC. Let's not forget, you have a true sophomore who will just be starting his second time, or his first season as a starter. He's only going to have one start to his name coming into the season, and that'll be in this bowl game here in 2 weeks. Okay, you got to keep these expectations manageable. Not only that, this offensive line deal that we're seeing, we're going to have to find out what they do in the portal. How many of these guys are going to be young? It's going to be tough. You have a young defense aside from guys like Billy Bowman. Thankfully, he's coming back. Danny Stutzman, and of course, Ethan Downs. The rest of these guys are like sophomores. Do you expect to get some big contributions from these guys? Sure. Even some of your freshmen that you got coming in this class as well. But again, this is a different type of deal in this conference. I'm excited about the opportunity here. It's going to be great watching these games. Even in some of the, you have to expect some losses. I'm just not drinking the Kool-Aid of that 12-0 national championship season. I've been telling you guys all along, I think that 2025 is the year that Oklahoma really pushes for a title. I would tell you to try to keep your expectations manageable. But no matter what, let's enjoy it and pick on Texas. And then they play a cupcake schedule, even in the SEC in their first season. Oklahoma has a reason to go 8-4, 9-3. They play a tough schedule. Texas, not so much. 9-3 better be the lowest. You never know. Hey, listen, no matter what, it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast. Guys, let me know what you think about this schedule in the comment section. Make sure you hit that like button. Check out all of our, hey, guys, please do check out our sponsors. You know, go purchase your amazing coffee from Devil Dogs Brew and Beans right there on the screen, hofmedia.us/coffee. You get 10% off your first order by using promo code Boomer. Always free shipping for using our link to that as well. Look, and in the end, the biggest thing for that, 5% of everything goes to the Wounded Warrior program. Every purchase, that's the biggest deal to me. It's a veteran-owned company that serves veterans, and they have the most amazing coffee out there. You can get into our Hall of Fame merch shop as well. Check out our Louisiana Grills site as well. And look, this is the last day to be able to order and get gifts for your family or for yourself for Christmas from our Fanatics partner store, hofmedia.us/fanatics. I believe everything's like up to 50% off today. You're going to see some amazing deals on amazing licensed gear and memorabilia. Hall of Fame, college football, and Fanatics have been partners for a while now. Get in there and check that out. Look, support the show best way you can. The easiest way and the free way is just to hit that like button. We are so close to 3,000 subs. We'd love to be there by Christmas. Hit that thumbs up and hit a subscriber button. Share it with your friends. We'd much appreciate it. Guys, let me know what you think about this schedule in the comments. We are going to be coming to you with some more information on some of this portal stuff over the next day or so. But hey, keep interacting with it. We're having a blast on the show. We're going to see you guys on the next one.